you. You know, a lot of the time I think, maybe you guys can agree with this too, but like in LA and Hollywood, sometimes the things that you are most excited about or most proud of are the things, just like Dante was saying too, when the writing's really good, and you guys have probably all experienced this with shows that you love, like Firefly or Arrested Development, like things that, you know, we love and they don't find as much of a viewership. And we feel like we're part of this like cool elite group, like, I figured out that this is an amazing show, and no one else did, and now it's canceled. You get used to this idea that like the more you love something, the more you might not get to continue making it. So I'll shoot a pilot, and I'm like, this is too good for television, as something that I've sort of had my heart broken over. And so the fact that you guys found Avatar, and you found Korra, and you guys keep it going, that's the only reason we're able to do this at all. So it's really your show. And I appreciate that so much. If you guys weren't savvy and didn't recognize what a great show it was and didn't show up for it and make those numbers happen, you know, it wouldn't be around.
Thank you.
Yeah, honestly, give yourself a hand, you guys. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Autumn, and let me just say that Avatar seriously shaped my entire life. All my friends know it. I've gotten them all like little Avatar nerds. But I want to say that first off, I love Korra's voice. Your voice matches her personality perfectly.
Thank you so much.
I know that the Avatar is the waterbender, but she's more of a firebender, and I know that Zuko's a firebender and Amon's a waterbender. What kind of bender do you guys think you would be, though?
I'm Fire Nation all day, every day.
I'm a love bender, baby.
I gotta say probably water, you know, not to just be loyal to Korra, but also just because that's sort of what feels right. I'm an Aquarius, even though that's an air sign, but like Aquarius is water.
I'm an earth sign, so I'm like earthbender.
I was gonna ask you.
I love bowling, personally.
Oh my god, I love bowling.
I love bowling too.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, someone asked me, someone was like, we do get asked, like, what element would we bend, you know, when we do constant stuff, because, and I'm so honored that, like, anyone cares what I would do, but someone recently said, they didn't say, what would you bend, they said, what element would you be? And I had never been asked that before, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know, like, I feel like I would be a water bender, but like, I don't think I would be water. I feel like water's like very graceful, and like, and eventually the panel told me, they were like, oh, you'd be earth. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I never even think to say I would bend earth, that I would be a bender, but I think that's totally true. Like, I'm so much more like goofy and dumb, and like just funny and whatever. I mean, I hope I'm funny, but just like, I guess I would be, if I were an element, I would be earth. What about you guys?
I'm fire.
Oh.
Dedicated professional, dude.
Yes.
That's why he is. I don't really know what I'd be. I'm a doof, so the earth thing. Yeah, I think I'd probably be earth with you. Yeah, that sort of encompasses everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it is earth.
It is the earth. I love Mother Earth. Thank you, Mother Earth.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things that happened to me in New Zealand was we got to go to Hobbiton, which is like, if you ever get a chance to go, it's really cool. Hobbiton, yeah, it's Peter Jackson's. It's a set of Middle Earth, so they keep all the Hobbit holes there, and you can tour it when they're not shooting the movies. And I was walking past this girl who was gardening, and I looked down on her leg, and she had a huge earthbender tattoo on her leg because she's like, you know, a gardener. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, like the two worlds colliding of an earthbender like tilling the soil in Hobbiton was so amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, center earth.
Center.
He does not know what he's talking about.
I don't know.
Center
Middle
earth. There you go.
Middle center.
There you go.
New Zealand.
I watched Hobbiton.
And one.
It's not called the Hobbiton. That's the place.
I don't know what the heck we're talking about.
What panel was it?
Anyway, sorry, let's get back to you guys. Sorry about that.
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Awesome. Glad to have you here in Sacramento. SacAnime.
Thank you.
I actually had a question for all of you. Mike is all of you except Steve. All of you except Steve. Alright. What do you hope to see in the next season of Korra in terms of character development?
More Amon.
You can come back at any time.
More General Iroh.
There you go. Well, I will just quickly say to Steve that is something that people really wanted Amon to not be dead. You know, they loved you and what you brought to the show so much and that character, and that was the hardest thing about season 2 was like the #1 question. You know, we had to be like, yes, Amon really is dead.
I don't believe he actually died though.
Well, yeah, that's
He's been hiding in a monastery. Sorry.
That counts because it was something different.
Well, thank you. Thank you for love. I appreciate that. I miss the show. I just miss working on it. I never got to work in a room with the whole cast either. They kind of separated us out. I don't think they trusted me with everybody else.
That's right. That's right. Well, it's in scheduling too, because you're so busy. You're working on a million
You're so busy, Steve.
I'm busy doing stuff. My nails,
Yeah.
car repair, animals in a tree.
You're very multifaceted.
Yes, I do it all. If I'm going to be an earthbender, I got to be versatile.
This one's for Steve. My memory of Avatar is really, really rusty. It's been such an awful long time since I watched the series. But that's the most memorable part I always find about Avatar is just the opening narration. And I was wondering if Steve could do the entire opening narration in his voice, something like he does.
I would have had to memorize that to do that. I'm a voice guy. I don't do on camera like these guys, so I don't know how to memorize. So if you have it, I could do it, but I don't have it. Yeah, next time I'll prepare. I brought notes, but I didn't bring those notes. Sorry.
Hi, first of all, I admire your work a lot. Avatar was like one of the first really assistant fandoms that I got into, and you guys really are a big part of my childhood. My question was specifically to Steve. What do you think Amon portraying himself as a non-bender really brought to the fandom? The first one that we see that doesn't actively bend and is anti-bending.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me at first. I didn't know what to expect when I joined the show, and that was one of the most appealing things to me. It made it very interesting to me. You know what was really hard though, when he was going after Korra, I had a really hard time with that. Because I felt she's so cool and so sweet, and how could you want to hurt somebody like that, you know? And that was...
She's kind of a brat sometimes.
Huh?
I said she's kind of a brat sometimes.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I don't like hurting girls. That was really hard for me. So I thought it was really interesting that it was so multifaceted, that character, as are most of the characters on that show are so multifaceted. And even later on, his relationship with his brother and how all that was revealed. No spoilers for those of you who haven't seen it. But it was just astonishingly deep and meaningful to me, to the point where Dee Baker and I actually had like a moment of silence and cried when we found out what was going to be happening, and which is really rare for me on cartoons. So yeah, all of it was just overwhelming.
Okay, here's my question. This relates to the characters you guys play, for you to answer as them. The question is, if you guys were to attend an anime convention cosplaying as a character that was voiced by your voice actor, who would it be?
Wait, if we were to come cosplaying as a character...
That we voiced?
Yeah, like for example, the character you play, for you to answer as your avatar character, if you were to attend an anime convention cosplaying as a character played by a different character played by Steve Blum, who would it be? Same thing for Dante and Janet.
Oh, well, I don't do as many voices as these guys, because this is really my first foray into voiceover, except for some things that didn't get picked up, like for other networks.
So what would I cosplay other than Zuko? What'd you say?
Yeah, of the characters you play.
Yeah, I'll be, if I would don the Rufio costume one more time, that'd be kind of awesome. But I need like a skateboard with like a sail on it and stuff like that. And then, you know, I gotta rock that midriff again. That's the thing, man. I don't know if I could walk around my belly button in public. But I would do it. It would take me a little bit to get in shape and get it happening.
Steve, what about you?
Rufio.
It's a different character you play.
I know, I was kidding.
Okay.
It was a joke. Wow, that would be a rough one. If I had the body for it, I'd probably do Leron. Do you guys know Leron? You know Leron?
I don't know.
He's this character who's a robot mechanic, but he says really gross things like, when you screw it in, give it a hard manly twist.
And everything's Deltron, he wears heels. And,
What does he look? Oh, heels and stuff.
yeah, he wears heels,
I'd
yeah.
like to see that.
Yeah.
Cool.
If I could rock that with the blue hair and everything, I just don't have the body for it, I'd do that. I'd so do that. Too bad.
Do it.
We'll work on our belly buttons
I
together.
know.
Well, I was only told I can ask one question, but, so, it's more of a request. There's a special girl back at my house that unfortunately couldn't be here.
Sammy?
Sammy.
Okay, definitely.
Call her right now. She goes out. She actually just texted me right now.
We're gonna ask you guys to help too.
Are we here to shoot it? Or call her? Hello, Sammy there? Hi, Sammy. We're calling. This is Zuko calling you from Fire Nation. I have some other people here that want to say hi to you.
Hey, Sammy. Hey. Sammy, it's Cora. I don't appreciate you leaving me here by myself to deal with all these people.
Someone scary wants to say hi too.
Sammy, you've been purified.
That was awesome. We should show up at our house later on.
All of us.
All of us will just hang out there. See what she has to do. What's up, man?
Hello, folks. This is Shiro Shinobi with Republic City News. Now, when we last saw your gang of adventurers, things have changed in ways that I will not spoil, but needless to say, they have mixed up the status quo considerably. My question is, as so far, the civilization in the series of Avatar has been moving towards a more technological era. Do you believe that these recent developments will change things one way or another?
I just want to comment quickly and say, first of all, outstanding work. And that's one of my favorite things about the show is Jeff Bennett's narration at the beginning. And that's, I don't know if you guys know this, maybe you do, because Mike and Brent have said it before, but they were trying to figure out what they wanted to do with the narration. And we all loved what Jeff was doing so much, just doing the pro bending stuff, that they were like, what if he recapped every episode? And that's something that I just look forward to every
Jeff
time.
is amazing.
Nice, so great.
I'm always amazed by the awesome voice actors. Like
Yeah.
Steve, Jeff, like all
D.
T. Bradley.
That's
I mean,
yeah.
working with you guys, like
Yeah.
Kevin Michael Richardson, these guys, it really is fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like, what am I doing in the room with these guys?
Yeah, I feel that way.
I mean, Gray too, and the girls, Gray DeLisle's amazing too.
I just like sitting in the corner and giggling as other people go up to the microphone. It's awesome.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I think that it's a great question because obviously with season 2, again, like with season 1, where you're kind of talking, like Steve was mentioning, about these big questions and big issues and things that kind of pertain to our life as it exists now that kind of make you ask, questions about yourself and your own practices in our own society. How much balance, are we in, and how much balance have we thrown off in some ways by like disconnecting and being plugged in, but like, are we disconnected in another way? And I think that is a question that Mike and Brian are really trying to get at in a very real way through the Korra arc. And I think that maybe we'll see more about that, maybe we won't. But I thought that season 2 kind of posed that question well, like how much in touch with like where we come from and what our universe is like outside of whether we drive fancy cars or have weapons and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
I concur.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's why I'm running for president of the United States of America. So weird.
I would so vote for you.
I forgot which one was mine. All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering if you could tell us at least one favorite character moment from your time in Avatar.
Varney.
Oh, we already know that Steve cried.
I cried. Yeah, you heard mine. Yeah, I cried. Yeah. Yeah, vulnerability.
Yeah, I know it's hard to choose just one, right?
Like for the character or for just like hanging out, fooling around?
The character.
The character moment. I always love. I love when Zuko went on a date. Cause I like going on dates. but also for Zuko, he's so busy doing, the angsty, like, I'm trying to capture the Avatar, get myself, like he's so much on that, so much as being this like badass kid that when, he gets to go on a date and it's like this kind of beautiful moment and he's trying to, get his game on. It was cool because he like did everything on, got the fire bending. So he's like, he puts the lanterns on fire. That was like smooth, And I always wonder what happened to that girl. I'm like, what happened to her, Zuko? Like, what did you do with her?
Yeah, there's some fan fiction has answered that question.
Yeah. To great detail, I feel.
But I love that, like the romantic side of Zuko for like a hot second.
Yeah. Zuko the musical.
Well, it's interesting you would say that. Pay a lot of money to see that. But I feel almost the opposite, where I feel like, I get frustrated with Korra because she is so headstrong, and so I like those moments where she does lose her cool or where she embarrasses herself or gets embarrassed. I like, the show is so beautifully drawn, and like, there are so many moments where she's just like, oh, she's such a badass, and sometimes I think like, oh, she's too much of a badass, and I'm such a dork, and like, I'll never be as cool as Korra. And so when something happens where she gets embarrassed and like, they draw her where all of a sudden like her eyes bulge out and she's like super uncomfortable, or when she gets really mad about something, I get really on board for that. So I was thinking about like, even just like in the first season when, she wakes up on Mako's shoulder and she's like, there's just like the whole like awkward teenager like, what? I'm not into him. Like that kind of stuff. I love that. Or like there's that one episode where, I think it's the same episode where Bolin gets drunk on the noodles, which is just one of my favorite things ever of all time. But isn't there like, I feel like she's walking down, like maybe she's with Bolin, like it might even be that episode where she like, the writers and the animators just have her have this like total freak out where all of a sudden she's like, and you see her eyes get really big and like sweat comes off. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but like I just love those moments because they're so because they're cartoonish,
I love how you talk with your hands.
What? You should see me in the booth, man. I'm like,
they're walking.
I'm
like, what is she doing?
I have to remember what walking is like. I have to give myself a visual guide.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bill,
Hi, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
and I have a question for Steve.
Yes.
Can we hear some more bad Pokemon jokes?
Oh, okay. wrote a few. I had a huge fan of these. I've done this at cons before where I do like a whole page of them, but I don't want to take up all that time. So I wrote a few. I was just thinking.
I actually have a paper with me with some.
You brought some too?
Yeah.
Let's go back and forth. Let's have a bad joke battle.
Yes.
I'm on pins and needles waiting to find out what these
This one I've heard before. Why do benders eat the first day of the week? Because it's a Monday. I'll show myself out. What did my parents say when they died? Help, I'm on fire. Get it? Because firebenders killed my parents. It's terrible if you explain the joke. It's the mask. I can't do these. So it's obvious I took Tarlock's bending away. I guess you can say it's not in his blood anymore. Oh, God, these are terrible. You know, when I get off the stage, I'm going to spank you for that.
Straight off Google, so.
Yeah, you got to take the rest of these back. My favorite animal, though? A monkey. Enough of that.
Do you feel like you're monopolizing this conversation? So ashamed. I'm so very ashamed.
Hi. On a Cora that way. Cora that way. Long time. Sorry.
My question is for Dante. I was wondering if you could say in an angry Zuko voice, I am a magical fairy princess. Really angry Zuko voice.
I am a magical fairy princess for you. I am a magical fairy princess!
Knocked it out of the park.
Awesome.
Alright, hello.
Hi.
First of all, love the show, love your guys' work, especially Steve Blum, love your voice in GTO, favorite anime series.
Thank you very much.
My question is more towards Dante.
Yes.
You did acting as well as voice acting. Which one did you find more challenging?
You know, for me, it's all acting. I don't really, like in my mind, I don't really like separate it like acting or voice acting. Whether it's a camera in the room shooting what we're doing, or it's a microphone in the room, just kind of picking up the words and the sounds that we're doing. It's really, I'm doing the same kind of acting. I'm really just trying to tell the story and being as truthful and honest with the character as I can in the moment. So, in that way, you know, it's all kind of part of what we do. I don't know, I mean, and again, I don't have a ton of different voices, so I'm not that cool. And when you see me acting in the room, I'm just trying to act. I would actually, if they filmed some of us doing these scenes, I'm just doing these scenes, it'd probably be black belt material.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really separate it. Just as an actor, it's just all acting to me. Hello.
This is for all of you guys. Everyone has like a ghost story or something that happens like in their childhood. Asking what's your guys' scariest moment of your childhood?
A ghost story?
Yes.
Scariest moment of your childhood, is that what you said?
Yeah, just
Or
like
like a ghost?
Childhood.
Yeah.
What an interesting question.
This is real.
Were you about to get
No, because, you know, I'm Filipino, right? Filipinos are like Catholic, but like cultish Catholic mixed with crazy island voodoo. My grandmother. So I witnessed when I was younger, elder Filipino women praying until they got possessed by some spirits. And then I talked to the spirits. It was crazy. I still think back, like, what would we do? What was that? But it was definitely I saw some, it was not anime. It was crazy. But yeah, so I saw ladies get possessed. That's a ghost story.
That's pretty good. I can't top that.
Can't top that one either.
Come hang out at my grandmother's
Yeah, let's go.
see people do
Do we all come?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
scariest moment from my childhood. Well, this just isn't scary. But I used to spend the night at my friend Martha's house, and her parents lived out I'm from Arizona, which is like, I don't know, just everything that's the most dangerous thing ever in the United States feels like it's in Arizona, which you don't really think about that much when you're younger, but then you're like, oh, rattlesnakes, brown recluses, black widows, scorpions, like everything's just around all the time. Sure. Major conservative Republicans, it's all very dangerous. Very dangerous. But her parents lived in the middle of the desert, and they were artists, I guess, which to me means like they just left all their doors open. And so I would spend the night at her house, and she had like a loft bed where you'd like climb up the ladder to get the bed. And in the middle of the night, if I would wake up and I would have to go pee, I would be like, no, because every time I would go, like I'd have to like creep down in the dark into the bathroom, and I don't know why I kept spending the night at her house, because it was terrifying, because it was like, the question was like, do I pee with the lights off so that I don't see all of the insects and like all of the spiders and bugs? Or do I turn the light on so that I know I'm not going to touch one of them? And so inevitably it was like this sort of like, which one is which? And then I would find the light switch, and one time I was like, I'm gonna turn the light on, and I flipped the light switch, and there was like a giant wolf spider right next to where my finger was on the light switch. As just a big like, yeah, good choice, Janet. But like I kept staying there, but I still, to this day, now I have a fear of spiders because it just was like constant spider exposure.
I can't be that one either.
Shit's drink too much before you go to bed.
I know, I never learned that lesson.
I just wear a diaper. I'm going right now.
These stories are that scary.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. The only sort of ghost story that I had was when I was really young, my brother used to like to freak me out, and we did this thing called I Believe in Mary Worth. Have you guys ever done that? Where you turn the lights off.
This Bloody Mary thing?
Bloody Mary thing, yeah.
Yeah, in the mirror?
In the mirror.
Isn't Mary Worth an old comic strip from the 80s?
I think so, but that's what my brother called it. Mary.
You guys all played I Believe in Garfield?
He called it Mary.
Super scary.
Well, that's why I'm afraid of comics. They're terrible, scary people. No,
Bloody Mary is scary.
Bloody Mary, but he called it Mary Worth. That's what he named her, and that sort of humanized it even more, because I'd heard of Bloody Mary, but that made it even scarier to me because she had a name, and so we would turn off the lights. He'd lock me in the bathroom. He'd say, all right, you have to look in the mirror, and you have to say it 3 times. Right. And I swore that this image would appear, and it would be terrifying, and I peed myself. So yeah, and
it all works out. The peeing to the ghosts.
Yeah, everything's connected. Like you're saying, the connectivity. We're
so
finding
beautiful.
the connections. Yeah. We come full circle here now.
Great.
Cora's here.
Winter Cora, love it.
How you doing?
Sorry for earlier.
No, you feeling better now?
Yeah, it's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me.
I don't know what happened.
We're gonna embarrass you more in front of everybody. What happened?
Yeah, tell you're embarrassing, mommy.
I was waiting in line and I kind of fell out. I was almost there to get my autograph and I had vertigo and everything was tilted and I
That's the
fell.
worst.
Yeah, it was so bad. I was so embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed.
Hey, but now you can laugh about it, right?
Yes.
If I were you, I probably just would have gone home and crawled into bed. You're still here, so you're a hero in my eyes.
Yeah, everybody give her a hand.
Yeah.
We love you. Thank you for being brave enough to tell that.
I have a question about what's involving Aang, the first Avatar, and the Korra Avatar. I love them both like they're my own children. But what do you think about the critics saying, oh, we like the first Avatar better, the second Avatar is like too angsty and whatever, and stuff like that?
What do I think about that?
Yeah.
I just think they're really different. I totally understand that. I think I totally understand it. I don't have a problem with it. I totally understand that people have their own opinions, and there are certainly things about the second series that are very different from the first. Some people like the second series better because it has that, but that doesn't really bother me. I think if I were worried that the show wasn't great, I would take that stuff super seriously. But luckily, I think Mike and Brian have just done an amazing job with both shows. So I just feel like, sometimes people, like someone waited 2 hours in Australia just to come up to me during a signing to say that she didn't like Cora. What? Like she likes the show, but she doesn't like the character of Cora. Like it was really important for her that I know that she doesn't like the character of Cora. And I was like, you know what? She makes me crazy sometimes too, you know? But that's kind of the idea of why they wrote this teenage girl. It's like these real things, you know, we're kind of obnoxious when we're teenagers. And imagine having the responsibility that she has on top of like being a teenage girl who, you know, has this complicated relationship with Mako and all that kind of stuff. So to me, it's, you know, it's just a different structure, different folks, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times actors, or myself as an actor, is like, I don't really pay attention to critics, kind of, you know? Not that I don't pay attention. No, it's not my job to like understand the critiques on that way. We just are actors and we do the work. You don't really always listen too much to the bad critics. You don't listen too much to all the people that praise you too much. It's like in the middle, you just kind of do your work and you enjoy what you do and tell the stories you want to tell. I mean, the critics, that's what they do. We make art. That's our job. And the critic's job is to, you know, do reviews and whatnot. That's great, but that doesn't really affect what we do. It's kind of like we're not making work for the critics. We're making work for the audience.
Yeah, I like any kind of emotion that's if we can evoke any kind of emotion, whether it might be perceived negative or positive, I think we're doing our job because, you know, everybody's different. Everybody's got a different perspective. And I personally love hate mail. I do, I really do. I got a letter from a guy the other day who said, I like you, but I think that Troy Baker is a much better actor. Yeah. And you know, it's their opinion. I laughed. I thought that was the funniest, most awesome thing, because they were honest about it. And especially when somebody targets a specific performance, I love that. If they say, you know, you really, I hate that character, you really made me mad. Awesome. Because you were watching and you cared enough to tell me that. And that's our job really, is just to, you know, get you guys engaged one way or the other. So yeah, mission accomplished if that happens.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
First off, I want to say you guys do an amazing job bringing the characters to life. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
So the question is for Dante. So you've done various projects on being actor, rapper, and working on independent projects. So out of all of those, which do you feel most proud of, and if you could only choose one?
I mean, I'm proud of all of it. I've been around a long time, you know, it's weird. So I've been around a long time, and so ultimately, I don't know, what can you choose? I mean, I'm an artist, so really it's just kind of staying creative, whether it be in front of the camera, behind the camera, writing, producing, acting, voice acting. I mean, in the end, you know, like recently I've been touring around colleges and talking to colleges about my career and my life. And when I first started doing it, I was really nervous because I'm like, what am I going to tell these kids about life? You know? And then as I've been doing it, especially for the Asian American community and whatnot, and I really got to see through their eyes and through the conversations about how my career has been really an important piece for Asian Americans. Like my career, the things I've been helped to create what it is to be Asian American, broaden the scope of what that is. So ultimately you gotta choose one thing. It's like, I'm an artist, there's no real choice of it. As an artist, even though we do so much different pieces of art and work through our life on film and television and stage and whatnot, in the end, you hope that, I mean, your life should be your best piece of work. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of like what you strive for, and all of this is part of that, affecting people, impacting people, trying to make yourself better, trying to say what you really want to say in this world. So it's kind of, in the end, hopefully my life is, you know, a good story in the end.
I'm being sarcastic.
I know.
Hello everyone, how are you?
My
voice acting hero ever since Big O.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Ravishing today. I love your voices.
Ravishing
Very
so much.
fierce and strong.
Thank you.
Now, the question I have for all of you is there any sort of sneak peeks or tidbits you can talk about for the next season?
Not if we want to work again.
We really can't.
I know. Nickelodeon gives us like they actually
serious
say
about
like
it.
this is what you're allowed to say, and I haven't even gotten anything like that about season 3 yet.
Yeah.
They're ninjas backstage. They've got their weapons trained on us.
What?
Mind if I change my question then?
Yeah.
Out of all of you, what is your biggest fumble or word slips while you were working?
Probably saying a dirty word while a kid's parent is in the room. Yeah, accidentally.
I think sometimes I don't know if you guys have this experience, but I'm sure you do because you work with the same like text that I do, but on other stuff you do as well. But there are a couple of guys who do all the recording for us when we're in the booths, and sometimes if we make a weird sound, or even if we're making the right sound for the show, if something about it strikes him as funny, he'll just record it and put it on a loop. So like if for some reason, they're like, okay, we need like a groan, and I'll be like, that is like the biggest mistake of the day, because then like they'll be like, all right, we're gonna take like a quick, all right, we're gonna play this back real quick, and then it's just like, like, Justin? Yeah.
Yeah, I have you doing that as my message.
Right? Yeah.
I grew up in I'm like a hip hop kid, like a neighborhood kid, right? So, like Jake Long, I'm like really Jake Long. I'm like a grown up Jake Long. So that's just my life. I just talk like this. So sometimes I'll be talking like this, and there will be like the voice work is like, look, Dante, a little less urban for Zuko. Or sometimes you're saying lines like, he didn't say, I don't think Zuko said yo. I'm not sure. So no matter what gig I do, if I get tired, I get back to like my little urban swag kind of thing. And then like voice works is like, I don't think they talk like that back in those days.
I actually do have one. When I was voicing Wolverine for Hulk versus, we did a movie, and Wolverine is fighting the Hulk in this thing. Yeah, Wolverine is fighting the Hulk in this thing, and I had some scene, I think I was saying something like, back off, bub. It was some really intense thing. But as I'm saying it, I put a lot of effort into it, and the body's moving and stuff, and I'm throwing punches. Well, as I'm saying it, I farted at the same time. It's like, back off, bub. And I heard it in the room. I don't know if they did, but I couldn't tell them why, because I was really embarrassed, and I was fortunately in the room by myself that time. And so the engineer goes, okay, moving on. And I said, no, do you mind if we just do that one more time? Because I think I heard a glitch. And he plays it back, and he doesn't hear it, but I hear it clear as day. I just hear, back off, I'm gonna hear. So I think it actually made it to the final production. So for you audiophiles out there, if you can separate the music and that stuff underneath it, I farted more as Wolverine than any other character.
I love that you keep track.
I know.
Number 2 would be blank. Number 3.
Like I did Scorpion in the new Spider-Man, and we're doing a lot of fighting scenes, and I got the hiccups.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. The freaking hiccups during fight scenes.
Super manly.
I'm like, that's not cool.
I've stunt belched for other actors also.
Really?
And I forgot what show it might have been on Avatar. There might have been some belching scene or something. I don't remember what it was. But I was, sucking it up and belching over and over again, trying to get a big one out, and I threw up. So sick. But that's awesome. Does that mean 10 minutes, or are you just doing jazz hands?
Minutes. We have a few more questions.
Both are awesome. Oh, Amon doing jazz hands. Look at that.
Oh, God. Finally, Amon doing jazz hands.
My question is for all of you. What did you think about the Avatar Last Airbender movie?
About the movie? Yeah. I never saw it. I never will.
Yeah.
told me, do not see it.
Hey, so if you had purchased the collected editions of Avatar on disc or Korra, it came with these great commentaries that I really enjoyed, and I think all three of you participated in them in one form or another. So I know at one point either Brian or Michael says, I wonder if anyone even listens to these commentaries. So I want you to know that at least I am listening to them. They're really great.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
So do you have any good stories for making those commentaries? Like maybe something that didn't make it into a tape or something like that?
Gosh, I honestly think when we were recording, I think they just used everything. They just like press record and just let us go for it. The main thing that I remember that I think I even commented on in the episodes that I did commentary for is that I kept forgetting to say anything because I just think that Mike and Brian are so fascinating, and I always learn something new about the original series or about horror, just about where their minds are and who they are as people and how they come up with their ideas, that I just forget to talk. I'm just like, because I'm such a fangirl for them. I just think they're so amazing. But thank you for bringing that up, because I really do, because of that, I really recommend, if you guys have the DVD, that you check out that commentary, because nothing with them, there's no time wasted with Mike and Brian. Like, I've never heard either one of them utter something that I wasn't like, I'm really glad you said that. Like, I'm just so enamored of them. I think they're so great. So it's so worth it. You'll learn so much more about their process and the whole kind of Avatar universe that you didn't know before, I think.
Well, and their level of research and mythology and understanding of the universe that they're actually creating is so all-encompassing. It is like a history lesson every time you sit with those guys. They're amazing. And they've thought out every single element of that show. And I met the Sifus, the guys that created the choreography for the Kung Fu stuff. And these guys, actually, they hired different guys who worked in different styles just to make sure that everything was accurate. If they're, fighting in water bending or fire bending or whatever, they actually used different styles of fighting technique for that. And he actually choreographed every single scene. It's amazing. That kind of stuff I didn't know.
Yeah.
Just didn't know.
Great question, or great comment. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi. I'm Hannah, and I actually bought your copy, Dante. It says Hannah.
I see Hannah. I was like, London, I thought you got me called with someone named Hannah did.
Even a baby man. But my question is, because I'm an actress, how did you guys get into performing?
I started when I was a kid, but I wasn't doing anything like professional. I just loved doing it in school and stuff, and that's what I majored in. And yeah, I took kind of a long way to, there was a span of time in which I didn't think I was going to do this for a living, but then it kind of came back around. But yeah, I say just, if it's something you're passionate about, just do it. Just do it, and do it to feel good. Don't do it because you're hoping for a certain result, because I think the results will come if your passion's there. I know that's super cliche to say, but everyone I know who's been a success feels that way.
Right. I mean, I started my entertainment life, the ground level of entertainment, which is street performing. So me and my brothers were break dancers in the streets of San Francisco. Yeah, Berkeley. So we just started by putting a hat out and turning some music on, and every weekend, that's what we did, and that turned into what we do today.
I had no intention of going into, where'd she go? She just went, I had no intention of going into entertainment at all. I was actually thinking about pre-med or
I can see you being a doctor.
Dr. Blum, paging Dr. Blum.
My dad's a doctor. He wanted me to take over his practice.
It's crazy.
I was thinking about oceanography. I thought about all these different jobs, and I started playing in a band during the 80s. I was playing in an R&B band.
Wow.
Opening for heavy metal acts during the 80s. It was
amazing.
It was crazy, and I was a really terrible
singer.
I was a guitar player, backup, vocalist, and awesome. We did
lead,
we did
rhythm. What were you doing?
Mostly rhythm, yeah. Yeah, I was the only white guy they could find with rhythm. I was 15-piece stage band.
What?
It's a 15-piece stage band. We had full choreography, spandex. It was ridiculous.
What? R&B, like freaking.
R&B, like Earth,
and Fire.
Yeah, it was crazy stuff. It was crazy stuff.
I want to see this.
Oh, so do I. It's on VHS somewhere. I don't know. My partner. That's a long story. That's many years.
What was the band called?
Well, we had like 10 different names because my partner was crazy. He was this Berkeley-trained musician. He wrote like 2,000 songs, and he would put together a stage show with literally a 15-piece stage band, horn sections, background singers. and we put together these shows. We play at the Troubadour, the Roxy, and all these places in LA. We do one show, and then he basically fire the whole band, change the name, change all the choreography, change all the music. And I wasn't a trained musician, so every single time I was on stage, I was completely terrified out of my mind.
What was your favorite band's name?
International Love Affair. ILA. We were ILA, baby. ILA. Yeah, we were The Race, we were Magnetic. We did all these different really crazy things.
Awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, my day job, while I was playing in the band, I was working in a mailroom for a low-budget film company called Empire Pictures, which became Full Moon Entertainment. They did Reanimator and Puppet Master movies and stuff like that. And the head of the mailroom, everybody there was an actor except for me.
I remember Full Moon Production.
Yeah, and the head of the mailroom, this guy Vic Garcia, he's an actor, and he was casting this Japanimation thing. And he needed a creature, and I had the deepest voice in the mailroom. So he just dragged me out and fed me breakfast and lunch, and I booked a gig, and I did 26 episodes in a show called The Guyver, and I never stopped doing it. And I kept working at that company for like 15 years, and I was head of marketing, I was an executive at the phone company, while I was doing that on the side just for fun, and then all of a sudden I booked something that I thought I was going to be able to support myself with, and made the jump. We have 5 minutes, I'm going to shut up now. Okay. Anyways, I just never stopped.
Get a job in a mailroom, that is the answer.
Yeah.
Hi.
I was wondering, have you actually ever read your fan fiction?
I haven't really read this stuff. I've seen some pictures.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like I've seen pictures and I've seen a lot of like gifs
I
and
see
stuff.
crazy ass pictures. I ship Zutara, so a lot of people like send me pictures of Zutara. But then if I start on Tumblr and like look up like Zuko or something, you can see some crazy stuff. Some crazy things.
Just pick pictures. I haven't read it.
You haven't read anything. I saw some crazy stuff. I saw like Jake Long and Zuko doing some things. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? How do you ship that? That's crazy.
Yeah, I have read some fan fiction. And I don't anymore. Because I'm scarred.
No, there's some good, I hear there's some great stuff. I would like, there's some things that I dig as far as people's minds with certain characters and certain relationships out. I love to investigate, so it's fun.
Thank you.
The lady right there, this is her birthday on the 1st, and she thinks you're absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
So could you in your Zuko voice sing or say happy birthday to her? For her
Yeah,
birthday present?
what's your name?
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn. And my Zuko voice is my voice. But happy birthday, Jocelyn. Thank you, dog.
I think you're gorgeous too.
Okay, so this is for Dante. A friend asked me if you were. Crap.
Feet is acting up.
I can smell that.
Going pretty well so far.
Well, a friend asked me.
Blow on it a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, awkward. But I'm like, I heard some people. Hello. So, my friend asked me to ask you to. Essentially, say a short rap about, Aang Zuko, but in your Dave Strider voice.
What?
Yeah, I did it online once.
Say a rap about
Aang Zuko in your Dave Strider voice.
About Aang Zuko in whose voice?
Dave Strider.
In Dave Strider voice. But about Aang Zuko?
Yes.
So, what the hell? And rap.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that.
Could you stand on your head also at the same time? Be doing a headstand.
Maybe I don't. Do you just want to hear a rap? Let's just do a rap. Let's just do a quick, let me think. A poem about honor, something lost. Well, how'd it go? A poem called honor for something lost or misplaced, etched into your consciousness like the scar upon your face. The honor that you chase isn't always what it seems. Sometimes, oh God, I lost my rap. I'm nervous. I'll come back to rap later on.
One more? Or more than one more?
Is that a heart?
0.
Oh, it's a 0?
We have 0.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Well, thank you guys for coming out.
Hey, you got to check out Sean Long. He is mind-bending.